Radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
Hey, 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 why, Well, what you gonna do? Yeah, you can dress, but you still ain't cute. When I turn, my chain go jiggling. A lot of wanna see my. I got a new outfit and I stay with a tick. Parmesan house ranch, I'm ready to dress. Real street, can't do wrong. A unpaid ticket in a Groupon. Your baby mama got no choice. Put a car seat in my Rolls Royce. Some of these got no choice. Me, that's no voice. I'm rich, I'm lit. A gon' suck this. I'm fresh, I'm hood. I look good. I look like babe.
I look like babe. Come check me out on YouTube.
Look like babe.
You were locked into hour 3, the after hour of RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. This, of course, is the show where we hit all the trending topics and headlines across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. Welcome in to the after hours, where we go into, it seems like we did that a little earlier, but we continue on with some of the more salacious topics that are in the headlines and trends out there in the world. So listen, I forgot to mention that, Chad Ochocinco and Uncle Shannon Sharp have a podcast, The Nightcap. They, too, were discussing Yvonne Orji and her predicament. Chad thinks that single Uncle Shay Shay would be a good choice to hook up with Yvonne. Yeah. Shannon was like, no, I don't need a saint, because Shannon grew up in the church. His grandmother raised him. He said, I need a sinner. I need someone like Miss B Nasty and a Bible by the bed. We can talk and repent. And this is just what I'm saying. Yvonne is attractive. She's wealthy. She comes with her own status. And Shannon is like, nah, bruh. I need them to be freak pre-prepared already. I don't have time to marinate that steak. I need it to come already done and seasoned. And unfortunately, I feel like those are the type of circumstances she might find herself in, or men that pretend to be one thing just to kind of get in there and, maybe have the bragging rights and then something else. At any rate, speaking of Chad Ochocinco Johnson, he was in the headlines over the weekend because he, without having prior knowledge, something I was talking about earlier, not doing your due diligence, not doing your research on a topic, but still giving commentary. Now, listen, we all do it, but sometimes it's important to take that extra step and find out a little bit more about something that you're commenting on. And in this case, that's what Chad should have done. Chad went in on Keith Lee. That was a big story last week as far as his visit in Atlanta and, excuse me, some of his visits that were not the best. He didn't have great customer service at Old Lady Gang, which is Candy from Real Housewives of Atlanta, her restaurant. He also went to a restaurant called The Real Milk and Honey, where there was some controversy there. But overall, he had a good trip. And so Chad said that he did not agree with Keith doing what he termed tearing down black business, right? And he went really far in on this topic. And then Chad said his daughter was like, nope, we team Keith Lee over here. He does a lot for businesses. He's honest. He's not asking for special treatment. He pays for his own food. And he's just simply giving his opinion like anybody else. He took off because of his honesty, because he was hitting places people were curious about in cities maybe they hadn't gotten an opportunity to experience. And he was just being real, on the things that he appreciated, maybe things not so much. And so once Chad got the 411 on all the things that Keith Lee is doing, he sort of reversed course. And we're going to play that audio in a second. But I do have the question, why is it that we as Black people, and again, I understand that we are in the precarious position of all at once sometimes representing the entire race with just us and just representing ourselves. But why are we conditioned to say that we should accept bad service, or that as far as a business it shouldn't operate to the best of its ability just because it's Black owned? I understand giving us grace. I understand allowing for things to happen, but continuously saying we should stand up and support those that aren't giving us the same respect, that we're spending our hard-earned dollars, that we are coming there to have an enjoyable experience and not be abused, not be passed over because we're not, a social media influencer or whatever. I don't think that that is wrong, and I don't think that it should be looked at as tearing business down. We should expect a great standard no matter who it is, because that is a part of having a business, being there for the customers. But we're going to get into Chad's walk back of the topic of Keith Lee and what he's doing as far as restaurants.
Hey, Keith Lee got me together though, man.
He
He got me together though. Hey,
he ate you up. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah,
He did.
hey, that was a good one. He ate me up, buffet style. He got me. That was a good one. The wordplay is phenomenal.
He's
He should
super
rap.
calm.
Yeah, super calm. But he crazy. Anybody talk like that and be nice and calm? Yeah, he crazy. Yeah, he crazy. He crazy.
Oh,
that was a nice. Hey, listen, that was a nice little read though. That was a nice little read.
yeah.
That was a nice little read. I appreciate that. I love him.
He did what he had to do. Somebody said he worked you like a shift. I'm crying.
So he did kind of.
That's okay, man.
As a matter of fact, I'm back on the show. I'm back on the show tomorrow.
I know.
I'm on there with Unc tomorrow. So we going.
So listen, Keith Lee did politely and methodically break Chad Ochocinco down, but it's because Chad wasn't informed. That's his fault. He should have done a little bit more research and due diligence. But I do appreciate when someone can be adult enough, hold themselves accountable, and walk it back and admit that, they might have made a mistake. They might have prejudged. So rock on, Keith. Certainly his profile has continued to increase. Kwamel, in the chat says, I still wonder where Keith Lee went when he was in LA. We'll have to check his TikTok. I know he was here. Listen, Atlanta is the only one he really had some problems with. That's not to say that he enjoyed every spot that he visited and every city that he went to, but he didn't have the feedback like he did from Atlanta. When we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. We're going to get into this conversation that Cam had with Joe Smith's estranged wife, that Gilbert Arenas, Kenyon Martin, and Brandon Jennings had on Gil's Arena about the NBA lifestyle. And I'm going to add some context to a couple of these stories. All of that and more, you're locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, Black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any Black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
Your floors can go from clean to dirty fast. From juice spills, whoops, to muddy paw prints, to little sticky finger marks. Good thing your Swiffer WetJet works fast too. Swiffer WetJet easily cleans everyday messes as quick as they happen. The next mess is right around the corner. So grab your Swiffer WetJet and just spray, push, all clean.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So listen, a lot of conversation about NBA players and women over the last couple of days. Lots of it. So we're going to weigh in here, of course, and I'm going to add some perspective, some context that I think is important in the conversation because, you know, I see a lot of the comments and they're like, yeah, women are evil. Look at all of these wicked women just doing all of this lascivious and lustful and out-of-pocket behavior. And, you know, I think they're overlooking a couple of things. So first up, what kicked off sort of this topic for me, what happened over the weekend, early in the morning, or maybe it was late at night. Ruby Rose posted a picture. Ruby Rose is a rapper. I think she used to be part of Taz's Angels back in the day, which were like, you know, a group of social media influencers that were pretty popular online, based out of Miami. We know that Ruby used to date Halle Bailey's new guy, well, he's not new, but her boyfriend, DDG, at one point in time. Ruby is a very attractive young lady. I think she's like 25 years old. Beautiful, nice natural body. I think she may have gotten some boobs, but they're, you know, size appropriate. And so 46-year-old Paul Pierce left under a photo that she posted on Twitter. 2 words. Comment was, my crush. Well, you know, Twitter is not going to let that live, so they were cooking P2. You know, like, you're too old, you're way too big to be talking about my crush. Then there was the commentary on if Paul was too old to be looking at Ruby since she, in theory, is young enough to be his daughter, right? Well, comedian Little Duval posted, women prove how hypocritical they are every day on here. How y'all mad at Paul Pierce for shooting his shot at Ruby Rose, but praise Young Miami and Diddy? And Paul agreed with that. He came through with the hand clap emojis and my guy. Someone left a comment, Carisha's 30. You know, Ruby Rose and Chloe are like 22, 23, because Little Duval also got in trouble when he asked about how old Chloe Bailey was. You know, I understand the sentiment, but I also know that old guys have been getting with young girls for as long as we can remember. And I just feel like you take away a woman's agency when they are of the approved age and you act as if they are infantized and they can't make the decision if they want to get involved with the said individual or not, or that them getting involved with this person automatically means that they are being led astray and the person is a pet. I think that the word pedophile is used way too loosely in this current era. Do you know? And again, I understand in past generations, young ladies were not protected. A lot of their defense and protection was put back on them. You know, they were called fast if they developed and had a nice body and showed it off, because those women probably knew that the older men were looking and leering and plotting and planning. But I also think that we have an age of consent for a reason. And whether you agree with it personally for you in your life and maybe those in your sphere of influence, you can't take that away from someone who is operating within that boundary. It's there and they're adhering to it. So I think the uproar about it, you know, is just a bit much. I think that it is kind of unfair, you know, no matter what side you sit on the case with it, which kind of brings us to this next topic. So recently on an episode of Gil's Arena, right? Well, actually, before I go into that, because we're going to get into that, we're going to put a stopgap in the middle of it with Cameron. Now, we know we talked a bit last week about former number one NBA draft pick Joe Smith, number one draft pick in the 95 draft, went to Golden State Warriors, made about $61 million in his NBA career, lost a great deal of it, ruined his first marriage because he was cheating and whatnot, and is now on his second marriage to an adult film entertainer. A video was released last week. Some people felt that it was a skit. Others, like myself, do not feel that it was a skit. I saw another interview that Keisha Chavez, did, where she discussed that she was just really being petty and didn't expect it to take off like it did. You know, the OnlyFans had sort of been around for about a year. And oh, by the way, Joe Smith found out from a woman that he is entertaining, i.e. stepping out on his wife. So the woman herself was being petty, like, yo, you know, your girl got an OnlyFans. So there's a lot to that, right? Knowing all of that, knowing that her reasoning for putting up the OnlyFans, which I said she should have told her husband first, okay? Be fair about that, but you know, got to do what you got to do to get the funds rolling, I suppose. And you guys always talk about a woman not holding it down and not willing to be there. This is what she knows, so how can you be mad that she's trying to hold the household down the only way that she knows how? But that's another conversation. In this particular interview with Cameron on his co-host Stat Baby's show, Cam spit a wicked shot at Joe's estranged wife, Keisha. And it was real player the way that he walked her into that. And, you know, I think Cam was wrong. I think that he took it too far. I think he was doing too much on air. But this is kind of the lifestyle thing that we're going to get into to a degree when we talk about what Gilbert Arenas said. And this is kind of how it goes and kind of how it's introduced. So I want you to listen to Cam's comments to Keisha and tell me if you feel like he overstepped some boundaries.
What else have you been doing besides OnlyFans? And what have y'all been going through financially that you felt you had to do this?
I've had a bartending service called Cocktail Hour with Kiss since I've been here. I have a moving company called Major Movers and Cleaning. And then I also have a massage business called the Body Rub Babes.
Nice. Do the Body Rub Babes travel?
Yes, they do.
Are you one of the Body Rub Babes?
Well, I have been, but now I kind of like, kind of
Could you be?
nervous to do anything.
But if I wanted you to be one of my Body Rub Babes, like, would you be a Body Rub Babe for me?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Now, because I don't mean to be a professional or anything like that, but I can't stop looking at your cleavage. It's you got your cleavage is popping, babe. No, you can leave it how it was, man. You can leave it exactly how it was, man. Right now I'm thinking about cleavage and the Body Rub Babes, but now don't cover her. It's cool.
It's like,
Yeah, babe. I'm sorry to get off track, man, but sorry about that kiss. We'll talk afterwards, but about the Body Rub Babes and everything else. But yeah, you just threw me off for a minute.
If it's not me, it'd be someone equally as beautiful, I promise.
I mean, yeah, I see why Joe is a little upset. You are very, very pretty, and from at least the stomach up, you're sexy and gorgeous, to say the least.
So first of all, the stomach up, Kim, was that necessary? See, but what I do want to talk about is, because he also, like, it didn't just stop there. Keisha mentioned something about Joe being a millionaire at one point or something like that. And Cam was like, oh, Joe doesn't have $1 million right now? And Keisha was like, no. And Cam was like, wow, that's crazy. He don't even got $1 million. Wow. And you're with him. And things of that nature, just, putting it out there. Like he said, I'm going to DM you. We're going to have a conversation. I got some ideas for you. That's how it starts, right? He was like, excuse me, some things where maybe I could help out you and Joe. Help the little financial situation you're having. It was a little creepy. And people were like, oh, look at her. She's such a slore. She's just giggling. One, I think it caught her off guard. It was a little uncomfortable. What are you supposed to do in that moment? Two, she made it very clear on another interview I saw with Miko Grimes. Shout out to Miko. She's been a guest on this show. That, if Joe doesn't start making stuff shake, there are other options coming to the door. And she wants him to be aware of that. But she loves Joe, and ultimately her goal is to work it out. But Cam, isn't there bro code that you guys are supposed to have? I mean, that seemed felonious, like just out in the open right there on video, no shyness about it. Andy, did you think that Cam was being a habitual line stepper in how he approached Mrs. Smith?
Initially, when I saw the clip, yes. But after watching it for a second time, no.
No? Why not?
Because she's the disrespectful one.
Why? Because she entertained it?
Yes. You entertained it. You're on this media campaign. All of a sudden, you're really trying to work it out. Why are you public? Why are you answering questions? You know what I'm saying? Why are you on an interview with your cleavage out? And why are you going back and forth with Cameron? I'm sorry.
You think that that's just too far?
That's too far. You already went petty by recording the situation. Leave it at that. If you love Joe, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Why are you on this media campaign taking all these interviews with TMZ going on? And it is what it is. And I don't know how Joe feels, but Joe should feel disrespected. Joe should open his mouth and at least say something.
Joe apparently is still not talking to her at the moment. I will say that I think that she felt a little awkward and caught off guard by Cam's comments. And that laugh, I, as a woman, look at that and say, oh, that's a little bit of, nervous energy. Here's the thing. She immediately, when he mentioned her cleavage, kind of, closed her shirt up. She didn't push the chest out more or anything like that. I know, like, making that move as a woman says, oh, gosh, let me, bring it in a little bit. It's getting attention that I wasn't thinking about.
A lot of what she said to Joe in the moment allowed somebody like a Cameron to feel comfortable to be able to say and ask those things.
That's facts. You're exactly right about that. Like I said, she bringing their problems online, knowing what she did as former work, you know, she put out there, one of her businesses was the Body Rub Babes. I mean, and Cam is a Harlem player. Cam is a smooth talker. Please believe it. He has game. He puts all that ignorant stuff out there, but Cam can be charming. He knows how to talk to the ladies.
That was charming?
That was not.
Okay.
However, I mean, that was game. That felt like he was macking her down. That felt to me a little ugly, a little creepy, right?
He just pointed out something that she should have covered up off the rip. But, of course, we know what she does. We know the business that she's into. So she's all about flaunting and flexing, you know, the goods.
I mean, maybe that was just, you know, the look that she was going with. I don't think she was, per se, there to seduce. She had the same type of look on, you know, all the interviews she did. We know she got an OnlyFans. It's not like it's a hard reach to go and check out what's going on there.
It's a little bit of seduction right there.
I mean, but I also, I would consider, I'm going to assume, right, that a woman that is a former adult entertainer is going to exude naturally some sex appeal or some sexual energy, just naturally off rip.
Yeah, and I bet you if she was covered up, Cameron wouldn't have made that statement. Because, yeah, she's attractive from, you know, just by looking at the face.
I mean, but here's the thing. Do you think that he need breasts to make a statement like that? Do you think that he could have just, if she's just saying Body Rub Babes, are you one of them? Like, do you think that, I feel like just by nature of the scenario, just by the way that it has been kind of put out there, I think I just lost Andy. I think I just killed Andy. I feel like it is what it is. Like
it is
the show
what it
said.
is. Yeah, facts. She could have been dressed. She could have been covered up, and Cameron probably would have still.
And it probably would have slipped out there. Like it would have just that is my personal feeling. But I do think he was emboldened given the fact that they have financial problems and by her former career. You know.
And see, what I'm concerned is that she's about to entertain that. And,
for sure.
And Cam is probably gonna break her off with some bread.
For sure.
I'm just kind of afraid of the situation. That's all bad.
I think that if this is not a plan between she and Joe, that Joe better get on board quickly and decide what he is going to do, because the money train is rolling. And this lady said, you know, she ran away from home when she was about 15. She started off in peep shows. She's been in the streets for a long time. And she admitted that Yasmin, who she's not anymore, and Keisha, and probably Kiss, those are 3 different people. And she realizes that it's one person, but the separation that has to take place in order for her to do the adult movies, that could be enacted again to get the hustle on. When we come forward, more trending topics, more across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Her that night, she got a boyfriend like bad, good. I'm trying to be a side. I'm handsome, I'm fly, I'm rich, that guy, I'm smooth, no lie. Girl, boo, you try. They say I look good, wanna hear it again. If nobody saw me in it, I'ma wear it again. Cause I don't give a I look good, I look good, I look like babe.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Chicago is coming off a weekend celebration of the 15th anniversary of the election victory of Barack Obama, who became the first African-American president. The reunion event was in observance of the 2008 election night speech that was held in downtown Grant Park. Obama was joined by former First Lady Michelle Obama, campaign staffers, and volunteers. The legacy of a former Richmond, Virginia mayor will live on long after he's gone. The city has renamed a street for former Mayor Dwight Jones. A sign was put up at 16th and Decatur Streets marking Dr. Dwight C. Jones Way. He served as mayor from 2009 through 2016. City Councilwoman Ellen Robertson praised Jones for making combating racism a main priority. Jones, who was black, tells CBS 6 he thanks God for using him as an instrument to get his work done. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Make your next lunch a lunch combo from Buffalo Wild Wings. Choose from wings, street tacos, and more. Head to Buffalo Wild Wings or order online at buffalowildwings.com at participating locations for a limited time, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Price and participation vary by location. Taxes extra. See menu for details.
We boldly go where no man has gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
Thinking about hosting a podcast and don't know where to start? Morris Media Studios has you covered. We're a professional podcast and voiceover studio located in Leimert Park. We specialize in recording and live streaming audio and video podcasts. Let us help you set up, record, and distribute your podcast. Hosting a podcast is a great way to bring awareness to your business, product, or good cause. For more info, visit morrismediastudios.com or give us a call at 323-815-4204.
The City of Los Angeles Civil Rights Department and its Reparations Advisory Commission are calling on you to be a part of something powerful. Join the Black Experience Study to share your experiences with the City of Los Angeles. We want to hear your stories. To join the study, join a focus group, or schedule an interview with us, visit www.blackexperiencela.com by December 31st. For more information, call 213-978-1845 or visit www.laisforeveryone.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Boom, 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 boom.
Nissan has a car for every driver who wants more. More action. More fun. More guts. More head turns. More adventure. More electric. At Nissan, more is all we do.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Only 1 in 5 people with autism are employed, despite many having the skill set and desire to work.
Maybe it's because employers don't know what kind of jobs they can do. Like, what about a programmer?
That's a job for someone with autism.
How about a healthcare worker?
Yep, That is too. People with autism can do a lot of different jobs, but often get overlooked due to outdated stigmas. Introducing WIN by Autism Speaks. We help businesses lead the way in inclusive hiring.
What about a ranch hand?
To learn more, go to autismspeaks.org/win.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Told you she's a yeah. Laying it down in your town, and I'm looking for some creepy love. Can you help me out? Hey, Warren G, what's up? I need a ride or die groupie that can get dirty and Gucci on the floor. The hoopty while she loving me up. I'm usually the instigator, but ain't nothing greater than an X-rater with a nickname like I need to do the remix to area codes. The way it kicks sometimes is out of control. So when my Snoop Dogg comes and kicks the door, when I walk up in the door, you best to know it's pimpin' on the 213 is the crew for show, and they know about us everywhere we go. Hey, what the groupies at?
I was just about to call till Snoop Dogg told me that he Warren G told me he rolled you.
I told you she's a rule.
Welcome back in. You know where you are. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. We're about to get into some lifestyle conversation. That NBA lifestyle, that elevated. What did Kevin Samuels call them? High value men? Yeah. So recently on the Gil's Arena podcast, Gilbert Arenas, Kenyon Martin. If you don't know who Kenyon Martin is, he's former #1 NBA draft pick. I believe it was in the 2000 draft. Went to, at that time, the New Jersey Nets. His son, Kenyon Martin Jr., KJ, was just traded from the Clippers to Philly. No, I'm sorry. Where did... Yeah. No. He was in the James Harden trade. He was traded from the Clippers. He was part of the package. So he signed as a free agent. He was drafted to the Rockets. He signed as a free agent this summer to the Clippers. And Kenyon was very excited to have him home and around his younger children. And then he was one of the pieces involved in that James Harden trade that brought James Harden here. By the way, James Harden made his debut tonight. The Clippers lost to the New York Knicks. He debuted with 17. Look at Andy. But they lost 111-97 in New York, son. So he started alongside Kawhi, Paul, and Russ. But like I said, didn't result in the W. The Lakers also lost down in Miami tonight. I'm going to say it's the sixth man, South Beach. Even though this is a veteran squad, I'm going to give it up to South Beach. And that's why the Lakers lost by 1. Andy has something to add.
I love my Lakers, but we're not winning this year. I'm sorry.
I saw somebody tweet that, and you said that last week. So you don't see the fire?
I don't see the dominance at all. You're struggling with Orlando. I get Miami, but I don't see any type of, when you're watching the whole 4 quarters of the game, at least maybe a quarter of just dominance. And, I don't see any of that. You got LeBron James, you got AD. Y'all went crazy for Austin Reeves. Y'all was one of them. We went crazy for Rui Hachimura. Where's Hachimura? You feel me? D'Angelo Russell is still playing the way he's playing, inconsistent. I just don't think we have it.
Didn't we start off last season like this, and then it started to round into form? Rob Pelinka made a couple of trades, little infusion, stuff started, rocking and rolling.
Okay, Andy, I'm going to have some patience, but I'm sorry. I think the expectations coming into this season were pretty high.
Because we made it to the Western Conference Finals on a bum year.
Yeah, definitely on a bum year. And you know what I'm saying? We pretty much have the same squad that ended off the season last year. So, I don't know. I just expected maybe just a little bit more continuity. I understand we probably got maybe 5 or 6 new players. So, we got to, bring them in. Vanderbilt hasn't touched the floor yet. I get it. I don't know. I just, I got high expectations.
It's early, Andy.
We shouldn't
it's
be
early.
We shouldn't be losing Orlando.
We should not be.
Point blank.
We shouldn't be losing, but I'm going to just say it's the Florida run. It's early in the season.
Okay.
All right.
I'm
going to keep hope alive.
All right. I'm with you. I'm with you, Jill, but, I'm still disappointed.
So, Yeah, so Kenyon Martin, like I mentioned, Brandon Jennings, who I don't remember where Brandon went numbers wise in the draft. I know he was drafted obviously to the Milwaukee Bucks. Cycled through a couple of teams, ended up playing overseas now as a popular streetwear brand called Tough Crowd. Well, they have a podcast, Gil's Arena, as I've mentioned, talked about it a couple times before. And they ended up in a conversation about what happens with the women that they come in contact with as new professional ball players. And their standpoint was they are introducing a woman to a lifestyle and to people that they have never been introduced to before. And they set the standard. And Gil said, don't be surprised if your chick ends up hooking up with your teammate. So let's listen to this conversation. And then I have a lot of context to add. I have some texture to bring to the conversation. So,
real situation. I tell KJ talking to a little young lady before a couple years ago. I just see her around a little bit, and I tell him, listen, don't be surprised if one of your teammates.
Oh, believe that.
Right?
Especially in this era.
He go to Bahamas, a little preseason team retreat. He go knock on the door. Who answered the door?
Mm-hmm.
He hit me right away. Man, you ain't lying. Yeah. At all, young fella. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's
like
treacherous out here in these streets,
clockwork.
man.
It's clockwork. Yeah. It's clockwork.
Yo, it's treacherous out here in these streets, bruh.
That hurts. Mm-hmm.
No cold. Ain't no moral cold out here.
No value.
Man, they listen, man. They
why
going,
not? No, I'm just,
I said,
you said
she
why
can
not?
leave your room.
You know why not?
Yo, man, I done been in a situation. The chick get off the elevator, thought she saw a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
We in Boston. She come to see one of my. I had no idea she was gonna see me in the hallway. Face white.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah.
How can you put her head down and start walking fast with a bag?
You know why?
Damn, Barney.
Yeah.
You know, that bitch was Wilma. Wilma running fast as down the hall. Wilma patting the out them going down the hall.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but it's the real, like, the that they need to hear that they don't get.
Yeah.
Like, I be in there.
Like, listen,
I be looking at like, hey, how many of y'all got girlfriends? Yeah, 70% of y'all girlfriends gonna sleep with another NBA player.
Yep.
Why y'all dating them? So get that over you.
Yep. Because you introducing her to a life. So
introducing her to a life that you are the beginning of.
Yep.
No matter if you're the number one pick, you are the bottom end of it. Right? There's players on that team that you watched and admired, they watched and admired. They had crushes on. They got crushes. If they
listen, there are so many ways that we can attack this conversation. But let's start with one, introducing them to a lifestyle. Now, if many of you are bringing your childhood sweetheart along, if you're in that position, then perhaps. But ideally, a lot of these men want the mixy women, right? They want the popular girls. I used to have a thing in my book that I wrote, Post-Game Pass, Access to the Life, where I would talk about Me Too, but not the Me Too movement that has taken place over the last few years, but about professional athletes and their desire for Me Too. Oh, you got that chain? Me too. Oh, you got that car? Me too. Are you with that girl? Me too. Sometimes they don't want to deal with the woman without a referral. Oh, she used to mess with such and such. That gets them excited. Now, Andy's frowning his face up. He doesn't believe me. But listen, there are quite a few professional athletes that share ex-wives, babies' mamas, etc. Quite a few. Probably more than you would imagine, right? And they still want to date the popular girls. I don't see them going for those good church-going girls or that student all the time, right? They want the girl that's banging. They want the one that's going to get them the value. Also, I mean, in this conversation, right, Gilbert Arenas discussing it. Before we even get into the thing with him, Laura, and Shaq that he referenced, let's talk about his most recent situation. His youngest child's mother she was married to and has, I believe, 3 children with former NFL player Marshall Faulk. Well, Marshall Faulk, when he was in back in the day, used to date a woman named Candace, and they have a son, Marshall Jr. Candace later married who? Derek Fisher. So Marshall Faulk's son, his stepdad was Derek Fisher. Well, what happened? You know, Derek and Candace obviously broke up, right? But Derek then went and married Gloria Govan, who has 2 children with Matt Barnes. In the meantime, Lindsay, who was married to Marshall Faulk, now has children with Gilbert Arenas. Oh, by the way, Derek is married to what? Gilbert's ex-sister-in-law. So, you think that was unknown to them? You think they didn't see these complications, but they still moved forward, right? Right, they did. Brandon, shout out to Brandon, we like you, but Brandon has been known to pursue high-profile women that are in the media, and that has been his goal, knowing that they had been with someone else. Maybe taking pride a little bit in that, right? So, do you really not like it? Or do you just not like it when it's reversed on you? Because a lot of times, too, as I've mentioned before, when you treat someone as disposable, they're going to move as such. So if you feel comfortable blowing through these women and discarding them, the same thing you saw in them, you think another man's not? Does it have to be that hard? Is it really that much work? Do they have to be creeping around and just get the introduction for you? Just like you saw that they were beautiful, attractive, had great assets, that man may have too, right? Right. What's up, Andy?
I was going to say the majority, I'm speaking in general, of these women probably aren't getting married. These dudes, them examples, Derek Fisher, I'm sorry, Derek Fisher, bro, you messy, homie. Gilbert Arenas, that's messy too. The dudes, they know. Like you said, they know what's going on. But
Andre Rison and Jalen Rose, they share a child's mother. Like there is a long, long list. I could go on and on and on. Deion Sanders, he's currently dating who? Babyface's ex-wife, who also is technically Eddie Murphy's ex-wife because they were in a spiritual union, right? They don't care. They enjoy it. So to me, complaining about it, hitting with the woe is me, you're going to see her walking away, you encourage that. You do that. You compete with each other for women. They talk about it later on in that thing.
Okay.
They talk about, Gilbert talked about, oh, you messing with her, let's see who she's going to respond to. And they both hit you at the same time. And maybe you made plans with one and you cancel with the other one, but they both see what's happening. That's the tricky stuff you got to be aware of. But they don't care if they're hitting you and your homegirl's best friend. They don't have a problem with that at all.
That's why none of them cats will be the homies. Sorry. I don't know. For me, I just don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You dating somebody, I know that you dated this person. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we had any type of rapport, even if it was just not a friendship, but what's the other word? Acquaintance. I'm just not crossing that line.
I feel you on that.
That's just me.
I feel you.
These dudes are messy.
But they like secretly, you know, maybe it's the competitive thing, but listen, they play in a lot of ponds. I could give you a list. There's a lot more than you would imagine, right? I'm talking about marriages and children. I'm not even talking about the casual flings, right? But you continue to do it. So, Gilbert, for you to sit there and say that, knowing your situation, I mean, you know, no shade, no tea. Y'all can talk your mess, your experience, but let's not act like you don't seek some of that out a little bit.
Could the message have been maybe to the youngsters coming up in the game, just, you know, maybe curve your love for whoever it is that you're dating? Could it be that what they were discussing? More so wisdom for the youngsters coming into the game?
I mean, yes, but no. Here's the thing. Of course, it's like, but the thing is they're putting all the onus on the women. She's going to creep out on you. She's going to go and get with your teammate. forgetting, hey, you were messing with 95 broads, told her she didn't matter, left her sitting at home on Valentine's Day, stood her up. She saw on social media you creeping with girl number 2. You sent them the same flowers. Maybe she wants a little get back. Again, I'm not justifying it, but if you don't care about her, right, she was just someone to get over. Again, there was a lot of conversation later about, your favorite side chick, wives and girlfriends technically are off limits, but the work is the work. But here's the other thing about it. As much as people like to talk about men not getting feelings for some of the women that they just burned through, sometimes they do. And sometimes it's just ego and they don't realize that they liked her until they see their teammate sporting her, rolling out, and she doing all the little special things for them that you thought was reserved just for you because you're special. Okay, so here's the other incredibly messy thing to add to this mix. We know that Gilbert's ex, Laura Govan, Gloria Govan's sister, was on Basketball Wives. We know the rumors, and I'm just going to say they were rumors, were that Laura and Shaq had an affair, right? We also know that one of the big storylines on Basketball Wives LA early on was Drea Michelle joining the cast, who was one of Gilbert's side pieces, who he moved to LA and funded right before she got on Basketball Wives. So that's the scenario. So Little Duval posted this clip, right? And in the comments, because Agent Zero, that's Gil, is no punk. Someone said, Agent Zero, he hasn't forgotten what Shaq did to him, right? Gil got in the comments and said, it was his side chick and assistant. He's talking about Laura. Mind you, he and Laura were engaged. They do have children. Their children are high school age. You are going to be hearing a lot about his son and his daughter. I can't remember where his daughter just announced where she's committed to for next season. But they are, top picks. They're on the AAU circuit burning it down, right? And this is his children's mother. And so he said that he took her meaning Laura, Gilbert saying that he took her from Shaq, that Shaq begged her back and she ran back. And that's why Gilbert said he was never mad that Laura was messing around with Shaq, because he took her from Shaq to begin with when she was Shaq's side chick and also alleged assistant. This is what Gilbert's saying. This is all alleged, but this is what Gilbert is putting out there. And then Gilbert followed it up with, imagine losing your top side chick to a rookie second-round pick, and you're a superstar with all the money. That ego was hurt, my guy. He had to pay top dollar to get her back. One, that's messy, Gilbert. This is your kid's mom, and they're in high school. And we know how this stuff travels. When we come forward, we'll get into more on this topic, plus a couple other trending topics and headlines to wrap out the night. You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Only 1 in 5 people with autism are employed, despite many having the skill set and desire to work.
Maybe it's because employers don't know what kind of jobs they can do. Like, what about a programmer?
That's a job for someone with autism.
How about a healthcare worker?
Yep, that is too. People with autism can do a lot of different jobs, but often get overlooked due to outdated stigmas. Introducing WIN by Autism Speaks. We help businesses lead the way in inclusive hiring.
What about a ranch hand?
To learn more, go to autismspeaks.org/win.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank. Any member FDIC.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So, one, Gil, I think that's a little mean. That is your kid's mom. Why are you talking about her like side chicken assistant? I mean, but bigger than that, listen, you were not introducing her to the lifestyle like you proclaimed. She was already invested. She was already involved. So what is your stance from? You know? I don't know. I just think that, this is what I forgot to add. Shaq also came into Little Duval's comments. And his response was, I don't beg. Now, we've seen him beg a little bit for Shawnee, but, I don't know. Was that an admission of guilt? We know he did something. This is probably, I'm sure, all been worked out in the years following the divorce when he and Shawnee got cool again. But I just wonder, much like I wonder with Scottie Pippen's son, Scottie Jr., when he made it to the L, right? And some of these others, how messed up that must feel to have people discussing your parents in that manner and kind of know some facts behind it. It's not just speculation. We got some confirmations in some of these things. Kind of, an uncomfortable conversation, even though I get it. The bottom line is to tell the rookies to what? Because what are you actually telling them? Besides saying, oh, your girl's probably going to cheat on you. Hey, maybe if you wouldn't cheat on her, she wouldn't cheat on you. She wouldn't be motivated. Maybe not treat these women as disposable, But it's all a part of the game, right? I don't know what the correct answers are. I don't know what the solution is. But I do know that those men up there, each one of them has a reason to be a little bitter. I'm not saying they are, but they've had some interesting situations with their mates. And just like you want the women to take accountability, you have to take accountability too. If you want a chick that, how are you mad because she is in the mix? Listen, thank you for rocking with RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580 tonight. We always appreciate you checking in. Make sure that you are locked in tomorrow. We have another amazing show from you. We're going to get into a little bit of a fashion topic where, of course, I'm going to talk more of these trending topics and headlines, more around athletes and relationships. I like those topics. Got a lot of knowledge on them, like to share and spread. So we'll get into that. Plus, whatever is buzzing for the day. Thanks, VIPs, for locking in. On the other side, of course, the best of KBLA. Until tomorrow, I hope you have an amazing Monday, and I will see you on the other side.
Wise decisions based on lies we live in. Scandalous times, these games like my religion. You could be rolling with the thug. Instead, you with this weak scrub looking for some love in every club. I see you staring like you want it. Well, baby, if you got it, better flaunt it. Let the liquor help you get a bonus. I'm still tipsy from last night. Bumping the walls as a pause, addicted to the fast life. I try to holler, but you tell me you take it. Saying you ain't impressed with the money you make. Guess it's true what they telling me. Fresh out of jail, life's hell for a black celebrity.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the